Support for this program comes from Allegheny National Forest Visitors Bureau, the official destination marketing organization for McKean County. Known as Trail Central, the Bureau provides leadership in promoting epic outdoor adventures, signature events, and PA's #1 state park, Kinzua Bridge State Park and Kinzua Skywalk. Also supported by Kane Lumber and Fuel True Value Hardware. Whether you're a pro or tackling a DIY project, they have the expert advice, tools, equipment, and products to help you get the job done. Hemlock Avenue in Kane. And by Kinzua Beverage, offering a wide selection of domestic, imported, and craft beers, as well as seltzers, flavored beverages, and slushies. Their drive-thru is located on Biddle Street in Kane.
I'm Ed Rose, and this is Citizen Kane, back again with more tales from the Hilltop. On this broadcast, available only on 101.7 FM WXZY, I chase down little-known facts and forgotten memories about the people and the events that have shaped the history of our town. This episode remembers how James City's Howie Sanford escaped Jim Crow to become Chief of Boogie Woogie for the United States Air Force. In 1940, with the local economy in James City still in the long throes of depression and bereft of opportunity, Ruby Sanford was left on her own to raise her 2 sons and 4 daughters when her husband Rudy died at 41 years old after a 2-year illness. Howie was only in the 3rd grade when his father passed away. Young Howie endured the trials of daily life in James City Elementary School through prayer, toil, and strife. And in their intersection, he found the music that would become his life's work. A born performer, comedian, and MC, he quickly earned acclaim throughout the region as a piano player and composer. Even as a child, he had the aura of a star. The dozens of Southern black people like Howie's gifted parents, Ruby and Rudy Sanford, who came to the Hilltop in James City, brought with them an infusion of new and different music. Talented artists like Leland Chapman, a classically trained pianist and teacher, and Hallie Capp, a well-known voice and piano instructor, and her daughter Barbara, were cultural ambassadors for the black community in Kane also. Howie's own mix of Delta blues, combined with upbeat swing and ragtime melodies, was bold and authentic, and his smile was infectious. He was self-trained on the piano, playing entirely from memory, and had a keen ear that quickly helped him pick up other instruments, like the saxophone, drums, and guitar. Sam Moran remembers Howie was a few years older, but all of us kids grew up outside in James City. We played outside, had lunch together outside. We knew everyone's brothers and sisters, and they knew ours. Sometimes we stayed for dinner. Nobody cared about what color you were or what country your family came from or what language your parents spoke. Moran remembers he had a talent for playing music. In addition to teaching school, my dad ran a small store with William Forsythe, and they had a piano. Howie was a bit of a showboat. Every chance he got, he would play there and would draw a crowd. People could hear him playing, pounding away, and they'd come to the store to watch, Moran remembers. As a student at Kane High School, Howie quickly blossomed as an entertainer. Joanne Jones Thompson, whose future husband, Jimmy Thompson, was co-captain of the 1949 Class B Pennsylvania State basketball champion Wolves, was active as a student board member, and her parents were key volunteers at the popular co-ed nights at the YWCA. He became extremely popular at the time. There was a piano in the recreation room, and he loved to play there. He was very lively and energetic as an entertainer and was always star of the show. Jimmy Thompson remembers he was also a good athlete. He was not a member of our state champion basketball team, but he was a star halfback on the football field, and he specialized in the broad jump on the track team. When he graduated in 1949, Howie was one of only 6 fellow athletes to earn the school's Gold Award for collecting 3 or more varsity letters. The Kane Republican reported that Sanford earned 4 letters during his athletic career at Kane High, 3 for football as future NBA Hall of Fame coach Chuck Daly's fast-moving backfield mate, and 1 for track, which tied him with teammate Bob Cadden, who together finished second to All-State basketball star Jim Bovard, who earned 5 varsity letters during his high school glory days. Adding to his accomplishments, the likable Howie was also elected secretary of his senior class of 1949. Even though his peers recognized him as one of the most popular and talented members of his class, Howie could not completely escape the unwritten rules and invisible boundaries of the day that existed even in rural Pennsylvania. During the post-World War II era, the few black students who attended Kane High encountered the same outdated racial conventions and stereotypes that their cohorts faced across the nation. As such, black students were held to a different code of conduct than their white teammates. Ever confident and charismatic as a performer, Howie honed his athletic and musical skills as a student at Kane High. Almost any girl back then would have jumped at the chance to dance with him, but he never dared tap any of us on the shoulder to ask. He knew that was a line he should not cross, Joanne Thompson says. And in an irony of ironies, Jimmy Thompson remembers that Kane school administrators had to make separate transportation arrangements for Howie when he and his classmates were on their senior trip to Washington in April of 1949. There, in our nation's capital, as he toured the country's most famous landmarks and monuments of freedom, Howie had to ride on a separate bus from his classmates. Almost 2 decades later, Pamela Chapman Anderson also encountered obstacles that prevented equal access for her as a young woman of color. When a local studio organized a tap dance recital, she and her cousins Lorna and Deborah signed on and practiced hard for the event. But we were assigned blue outfits and danced apart from the rest of the squad who wore red. As a teenager, she remembers the sting of being turned away by the arcade restaurant and passed over for a less qualified white candidate when she sought employment at the busy establishment. After graduating from Kane High in 1949, Howie wanted to shake the dust from his wings when he enlisted in the Air Force. According to the Kane Republican, a young Private Sanford reported for his indoctrination training on September 19th at Lackland in San Antonio, Texas, the world's largest Air Force base. Private Howard C. Sanford quickly took the opportunity to shed his Howie nickname that followed him around as a teenager. The diminutive former moniker no longer fit him as a man of large stage presence and stature. Now just a shade under 5'8" and 200 pounds even, as a performer he would go by Sandy Sanford and then by Chief Sandy after achieving Chief Master Sergeant, the highest rank attainable for a non-commissioned officer. From the time of his induction into the Air Force, Sandy traveled the world. In 1951, he set sail for France with a group of entertainers before landing in Japan and Kimpo, South Korea, for 15 months. According to the Kane Republican, Corporal Sanford served as a fabric, rubber, and leather specialist in the 136th Fighter Bomber Wing in the Far East, maintaining parachutes, harnesses, and other safety equipment for pilots of F-84 Thunderjets. With his growing reputation as an entertainer, he also performed his comedy act at the Base Club. Following his stint at the Kimpo Service Club, Staff Sergeant Sanford was stationed at Westover Air Force Base in Massachusetts and later transferred to Loring Air Force Base in Maine, running both service clubs during his tenure. While in Maine, he embarked on a 22-day tour of strategic, distant early warning outposts in Iceland, Labrador, and Newfoundland, performing his polished musical comedy skits to rave reviews. According to a June 1957 report in the Kane Republican, Sanford's favorite act is a 10-minute display in which he is the deacon. Wearing tails and a black hat, he whisks onto the stage and, as if to begin a revival, gets the audience clapping to When the Saints Come Marching In. He then jumps from one instrument to the next in an uninterrupted beat of fast-stepping music. The Kane Republican reported from 1962 to 1966, he played and sang German songs over Radio Luxembourg. Incidentally, he can speak German, Japanese, and Korean, and he can play 13 instruments. One of the highlights of his career is when he was asked to perform at the U.S. Embassy in Luxembourg for world dignitaries. In 1965, Sanford was nominated for Outstanding Airman in the 50th Tactical Fighting Wing. After touring and managing service clubs on the military base circuit at home and around the world, Sandy was a celebrity in Air Force entertainment ranks, making his mark with every comic act and energetic piano solo. According to a 1970 report in the Kane Republican, he earned TV spots on The Ed Sullivan Show and on Bob Hope's Christmas special with the troops. He also appeared as a comic performer on the Bozo the Clown Show, The Arlene Francis Show, and on a game show hosted by Merv Griffin called Play Your Hunch. A February 5, 1975 story in the Tucson Daily Citizen reported that Sanford won the Air Force-wide Tops in Blue talent contest 16 years in a row and rubbed elbows with the likes of Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Fats Domino, and Louis Armstrong. The newspaper reported that a big part of his act is playing requests from memory. If I can't remember the tune by its title, I ask the person to hum a little bit for me, and I can usually pick out the song. I get my biggest applause from that part of the act, Sanford added. Throughout his military service and while his mother Ruby was still living in James City, Sandy returned frequently to Kane High on furlough to perform his crisp song and dance routines for students. He had a great fondness for his high school days on the heights of the Alleghenies, knowing all the while that it was his good fortune to escape the segregated classrooms of the Jim Crow South. At Kane High, he and his white teammates competed against white opponents. He also sang in the Glee Club, danced and acted in plays in the school's fine new auditorium, was a hall monitor in addition to being active with his classmates in outdoor activities year-round. I wouldn't trade my experience growing up in Kane for anything, Pamela Chapman says. Our family prospered. My grandparents were successful business people. In addition to the garage, towing service, and gas pumps, each year they hosted up to 200 guests during hunting season, providing room and board and butcher services on their large property. My grandmother always had more piano students than she could handle. My mother graduated from business school, worked for Mayor James, and managed the books for Dr. McCleary and his wolf farm. My dad ran the family business and learned to fly and bought his own airplane. Most of Chapman's neighbors who lived on the hill in James City did not experience the same circumstances, however. Perhaps it was due to Howie Sanford's childhood experience growing up poor in James City, where steady jobs in the glass industry could go bust at any time without warning. Or perhaps he was a product of the prevailing Depression-era mentality of the time. But despite having many chances to strike out on his own as an entertainer on the big stage, he hedged his bets, remaining active military until his retirement. According to the Tucson Daily Citizen, the lure of big money outside the service wasn't as appealing to Sandy as the security of the Air Force. I've always had the dream of getting that nice, fat Air Force retirement and then pursuing a career in entertainment. Besides, my family comes first, and I know what a career in show business can do to a family, namely, break it up. When Chief Master Sergeant Sanford plans to do is retire in Tucson and continue his nightly act at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base Officers Club, plus tack on a few other engagements around the city. The newspaper reported in a February 1975 story. Sanford's entire family is right in step musically. His wife of 20 years, Angela, plays Hawaiian guitar. His son Howard Jr. is a singer, and son Robert, 5, plays drums. Thankfully, over the years, Sandy stayed in touch with his favorite Kane High teacher, Rosanna Ekman, whum he still referred to as Miss Ekman, and she passed along his career updates and news and notes to document his successful career in the Kane Republican. Sandy the Chief became a featured performer at Tucson dinner clubs and nightclubs, and he worked at fundraisers and charity events after his retirement from the Air Force. He was active as a stage performer into his 80s, even doing a one-man band act at birthday parties. When the town of James City celebrated its centennial in 2006, Sanford sent along a kind note of congratulations to commemorate the event. I will always remember James City because it taught me to get along with everyone, regardless of race, creed, or color. Also, being a small town, James City made all of us a big, friendly family. My brother Rudy Sanford, who was also in the Korean War, is now deceased. The only other Sanfords were my sisters Inez, Dorothy, Geneva, and Lois, and they are all deceased now. I have many fond memories of James City and my friends there. They were such down-to-earth people and always willing to help with kindness in times of trouble or sadness and share times of joy in good fortunate luck. We were a family. I really miss the small-town environment and especially the warm friendships of the wonderful people of James City, Pennsylvania. God bless you all. From his humble beginnings in James City, Howard C. Sanford thrilled his Kane High classmates with his world-class talent and wildly joyful piano compositions. In his more than 25 years of service to the U.S. Air Force, he spread laughter around the world. When he died in Tucson on July 11, 2017, Howard C. Sanford was the Air Force's reigning chief of Boogie Woogie. Well, that's all for this week, friends. Thanks once again for listening. Please send your comments and story ideas to citizenkanepa@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank those who helped make this program possible. Allegheny National Forest Visitors Bureau, Kane Lumber and Fuel, True Value Hardware, and Kinzu Beverage.